What is going on, guys? Sonic and the Bean Show here. Today we are looking at the brand new Super 7 Animaniacs Ultimates Wave 1 figures. I figured that if I'm going to review the reaction figures, I might as well review their Ultimates as well, just to keep everything together, because I don't want to move on to something else and then review this another week or two. So I decided to review these back to back, and also because I am currently enjoying the third season of the reboot. I just finished episode 5 and I am enjoying it a whole lot. Now, am I going to enjoy these figures? That's the big question here. I won't know until I get everything out of the box. So let's start off with the packaging. Now, we're going to start off with Yakko and then move on to the rest, because I didn't want to have all of them together here and cluttered up the space, because the box is pretty massive. Now, the box is actually nice though. You can see the nice shiny going around it. You know, it has a holographic effect to it. And the swirls to the background right there. But we are getting the Animaniacs logo right there. You can also see Pinky in the brain. You are getting their nameplate, so this is Yakko, Super 7 logo right there. At the top of the box, we are getting our Ultimates, and then the bottom is, of course, the barcode and all your warnings and stuff like that. And then the back of the box is pretty much nothing. So that is that. So let's take the slip cover off. And here is Yakko. So you can't see all of Yakko's accessories. You got dynamite right there. You can actually see the map behind him. Interchangeable head sculpt right there. So that is the box right there. Here's the top, the side, and then the bottom right there. And then the back, you are basically just getting a nice picture of Yakko and then Animaniacs. So that was the packaging for Yakko. Now let's move on to Wakko. So the boxes are pretty much the exact same thing. They're all going to be the exact same thing if you're very familiar with how Ultimates are. So let's take the slip cover off to reveal Wakko right here. Here is the packaging and all of Wakko's accessories. I think they're all getting dynamites really, but you can see the violin, the mallet, and then Wakko is also getting the map, so that's very nice. And then you can see a picture of Wakko right there. So here's Dot right here. Let's take the slip cover off, and there is Dot right there. So you can see Dot in all of her accessories. She's getting a butterfly right there, the rose in her hand. You can see the dynamite right there. Dot's gonna get less accessories here. She's gonna get the least amount compared to everyone, not just Wakko and Yakko, but even Pinky in the brain. So she's getting the least amount of accessories here. And then coming to the back, you can see a nice beautiful picture of Dot. So that right there, guys, was their packaging. So let's go ahead and crack all of these figures out of the box and start the review. Alright, so here are the figures out of the box right here, and I gotta say, these actually look pretty great. I am actually impressed the way how these look. I think the sculpt is very strong on these. The paint is a bit of a hit or miss in some areas. Some of it's going to be inaccurate in some spots, but I think overall these actually look pretty good. Now, the description of these figures said they were 7 inches, which isn't the case really. Yakko's about 5.5 inches. Wakko's very close to 4.5, but Dot is exactly 4 inches. So they're not as tall as it says it is. So we are going to start with Yakko and then go over his accessories, and then we'll do the same with the rest. Alright, so let's start off with Yakko. Now, I gotta say, for the head sculpt, they made the head way too oversized here. It makes the body look a bit too small, and I know they all have oversized head, but for Yakko, it's a bit too big here. I gotta say that. They definitely made that head too big here for the body. They usually have that white circle on their noses, so they're not gonna have that here. And then along with their feet, I think they'll have the black paint right here, but it's not painted, so they're not going to have that. Another inaccurate thing is the belt. It's supposed to be black, but they have it brown. The pants is a lighter brown, which I think it was like that for the original cartoon, but I think in the reboot it was a little bit darker brown, I want to say. All of their eyes, they're not going to have any straight eyes. They're all going to be curved, which is disappointing. I wish there was a head sculpt to where both eyes were centered. The sculpt on the pants is nice. It's it's baggy as it should look. So you are getting like some wrinkles here. Now for Yakko's articulation, you are actually getting articulation in the ears, so you are going to be able to rotate them, and they can kind of move just up and down. Not a lot of range right there, but you can turn the ears around to where you want to pose them. For the head, it is just on a basic ball peg, so he is able to look up, but you are actually getting a rotation to the waist right there, so you can have Yakko look up really well, and then down right there, and then you do get like your tilts, so you can move it around. You're gonna hear that squeak though from the plastic, but the head articulation is really good. For the arms, they go up about here, which is really good. You are getting your single jointed elbows along with a, I would say the elbow swivel. Not really much of a bicep swivel right there, but that is an elbow swivel, so that's pretty nice, and it actually bends pretty well actually. You are getting a swivel to the wrist right here along with a hinge, so there's that. And then like I went over, the waist is actually pretty good. It's a little loose, I will say that. It is definitely pretty loose right there, but it does have a really good range of motion. Now for the legs, Yakko can kick up about here, which is pretty nice, back about there, so you can kick forward and back really good, and to the sides as much as you're getting right there. You are getting your single jointed knees, but it's not that great honestly. This is as much as you're getting. You do get a swivel right there, and then for the feet, you know, it is kind of weird though, because you don't really get like a kick, or I would say like you don't really get like much of a back or forward for the feet. There's not really like a swivel either. You know, it barely has any range. You're just kind of getting like a small little tilt right here due to the pants cuff. So you're not really getting much with the feet. But that is pretty much the articulation for Yakko. Now the problem with these figures is their feet is not fully placed on the you know, the ground. So they're gonna have like that weird like wobbling sort of thing here, kind of like the reaction figure that we reviewed. So it's gonna be very difficult to get these guys to really stand well. Oh, and one more thing, the tail is actually on a ball joint, so you can move the tail, which actually brings us to the accessories. So for accessories, you are getting an interchangeable head sculpt along with an interchangeable tail. And then for the hands, you're getting like your grappling hands, you know, to hold on to things. And you're kind of getting like these waving hands, I want to say. Yeah, I want to say they're kind of like waving hands, really. And then you're also getting like your bag of fun, the pointer for the map, and then your stick of dynamite. And then the big accessory that Yakko is getting is, well, the blackboard of the map, really, which is a very iconic accessory. So he's not going to get his the wheel of morality, which I would have loved. I've always liked that, but you are going to get the map here, which is a very iconic episode of Yakko when he was going over, you know, the countries. So that is pretty cool right there. But that is pretty much for Yakko's accessories right there. Next up, we'll be taking a look at Wakko, and I gotta say, I love this head sculpt right here. It definitely captures Wakko a whole lot of how goofy he really is. Like, I like it a lot. You got the tongue sticking out. They still got the hat that turns around. It is actually sculpted on, so you're not going to be able to take it off, but I think this is actually pretty good. It definitely captures Wakko a whole lot. Now it looks like the blue paint actually got on to the wrist right here. You can see where the glove is right here. The blue paint got all around it, which does suck. And I think what makes that worse is that this is not interchangeable. The where the hand is, this is, but this part, that is not interchangeable. That's actually like on to the figure, so you're not actually going to be able to see if I can try to take this thing off, but you see what I mean? That is on to the figure. You're only interchanging the hand, so that does suck right there. And the paint for like the head to where the ball peg is. Now Wakko is actually getting a bigger ball peg than Yakko and Dot, so he's not gonna get a lot of range because of that. But the black paint is actually onto the sweater right here, which is really bad. Luckily you're not going to see that though, because of the head's going to be blocking that. Now for the articulation, like I said, you're not going to get a lot of movement with the head. It's not going to be the same as Yakko. Look, it just popped off easily, like just like that, really. So you're not really going to get much range right there. You're really just going to get your basic head swivel right there. And look, it keeps wanting to pop off. So yeah, it's very, very loose when you do that. Now for the arms, you are getting a full rotation in the arms right there. You are getting a hinge to the shoulder, which only goes about horizontal, so it's not going to go any higher than that like how Yakko's is. You are getting your single jointed elbows, but it looks like it doesn't want to bend anymore. This is as much as you're getting, so that is very disappointing. You're only getting that much of a bend, so you know, there's that. You do get your, actually hold on, do you? Okay, there you go. Yeah, you are getting your swivel to your elbow. I was like, wait, because it didn't want to move. They're very, very stiff. You are also getting your swivel to the wrist along with a hinge. So there's that. For the torso, it looks like it is on a single ball peg as well, but it doesn't look like it's wanting to tilt to the side like how Yakko's was. So it looks like you're only just getting a swivel here. So that's pretty much all you're doing. You're just getting a basic swivel. For the hips, he is kicking forward about here and then back about there. You do get your single jointed knees, which that's actually all I'm getting. So yeah, the knees and the elbows are really bad. You're not really getting a lot of angles with those. The feet, you can kick back about here and then they go forward about here. So that's nice. And then you can rotate them. Wakko does have a hard time standing a couple of times. It's the way how his, the way how he's standing. See how even when I hit him, he's kind of like wobbling. They're, all of their feet just aren't placed onto the ground properly. Luckily, Wakko's not having too much of a difficult to stand compared to how when I reviewed his reaction figure. So this is okay, but they are kind of just getting like penguin feet. Now for your accessories, you are getting an interchangeable head. You're getting Wakko with his Spartan helmet and then an interchangeable tail. For the hands, you're getting like your grappling hands, a pointing finger hand, and then like your open hands. For the other accessories, you're getting like your violin, your bow, your stick of dynamite, and then the mallet. And then the big accessory is the black board that Wakko is getting. Same thing with Yakko. They're both getting their boards. So that's pretty iconic right there. And one thing I forgot to mention, the wheels at the bottom, they don't roll. So you're not going to be able to get like any like movement with them. They don't really roll at all. But of course you can like flip the board. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so now that we've taken a look at the Warner Brothers, it's time to take a look at the Warner sister Dot. And the head sculpt, it makes her look a little like too derpy here. I mean, her mouth is slightly open, but I would have preferred a different look that they went here. Her other interchangeable head sculpts look pretty good compared to this one that we will take a look at. But other than how the face is, we are getting her flower up here. And the ears, they're not really articulated. They are actually going to be stuck like that. I think the flower is supposed to be like a brighter yellow than that, I believe. But we are getting like her skirt, her tail, and I actually just noticed this right here. I could be wrong, but isn't like their white fur to their feet, isn't there like more fur to like where their shin is? Like, doesn't it go up here? Because I always thought something was missing here. I don't remember the black fur just going straight down. I'm pretty sure the white fur kind of goes up to their shin. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how the design was for them. For Dot's articulation, she's actually getting the exact same sort of the head articulation as Yakko, really. Like I said, she is getting that small ball peg. So as you can see right there, she is getting that small ball peg just like Yakko. So she's getting some pretty good range. Get some movement right there. And then you can like swivel her head. Jeez, I hate that squeaking sound of the plastic. For the arms, you do get a full rotation in the arms right there. She does get a hinge to the shoulder, which goes over horizontal, which is really nice. She is getting her single jointed elbows, which is actually pretty good. Actually, it's a lot better than how Wakko's and Yakko's was. I think she's probably getting the best right here, but her arms are pretty small. She is getting a rotation to the wrist along with a hinge, so you got that going right there. And of course she does have her elbow swivel as well. For the torso, now she's only just going to be getting a swivel. She's only getting a swivel to the torso, so you're not going to be able to get any more movement from there. Of course, her tail articulation as well is just on a ball peg, or a ball joint, I would say. I'm sorry, but yes, you do get that. I think I might have forgot to do that for Wakko, but I mean, you get the idea. They all got their their tail articulation. And then coming down to the hips, she can kick to the side about right here, really. So it's not too bad. I think that's actually pretty good right there. She kicks forward about here. Of course, she's not going to kick anymore due to the skirt. Jesus. Kicking back, you're getting... actually, you don't really get much to kick back. That's as much as you're getting. You are getting your single jointed... knees right there, which are very, very stiff. I don't know why. They're really stiff. They don't really get a lot of range either. For the feet, back about here, and then forward about there. So, and then you're also getting like your swivel right there. So yeah, swivel to the feet. So that's pretty much the articulation for Dot. Now, for accessories, you are actually getting 2 interchangeable heads this time. The first one is her with the hard eyes, and then one is like basically just a neutral smiling face. And then you are getting your interchangeable tail. For the hands, you are getting 2 open hands, 2 fisted hands, and then one where she's holding the butterfly, and then the rose, and then you're also getting your grappling hand. And then for the last accessories, you are getting her duck floaty and then the stick of dynamite. And you can actually put the floaty on her and it does have a rubber material, so it is made of rubber, which is very nice. You can actually articulate the head too of the duck, which is very, very cool. So that right there wraps up the review of the Super7 Animaniacs Ultimates. I think this is a pretty solid release. They definitely have their faults here and there, but the sculpt is very nice. The amount of accessories you're getting and the beautiful packaging for the Warners is incredible. I didn't have a hard time popping the heads off or breaking anything this time, so that's good right there. I definitely did enjoy the review here, I gotta say that. I will say I do hate how it is very tough to get these guys to stand at certain times. That seems to always be a big issue with Super7's Ultimates, so you can't do a lot of dynamic posing with these. But if you're a huge fan of Animaniacs, especially the original, since these are based off of that, then I would say go for it. I think these figures are pretty great to have in your collection. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts down below. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next video. Good night, everybody.